Hey guys, Palisade Gaming here with another Ranger build video for you. The last Ranger build video I did was a crit tank Ranger, which was, well, that was ages ago. So I figured I'd give you guys a little update on what I'm running now in the Well scene. I'm running a condition regen build, I guess you could call it. I'm running full dire armor for toughness, vitality, Condi damage, which really helps. You know, you really want to have a buffer with armor, and health really helps for conditions, because conditions completely ignore armor. So a lot of the metas are conditions these days, and you really have to have a little bit of vitality to buffer that. For rune, I'm running the Rune of the Undead all the way up for toughness conversion into Condi damage. So I get my toughness up, and I get a little bit more condition damage. For weapons, I'm running axe, torch, sword, dagger. You can swap out the dagger and the torch for axe, dagger, sword, torch, whichever way you want to set it up. I know a lot of people like it with the axe, dagger, and the sword and the torch. Both work just fine. You know, people just want to separate their dodges so that they're more consistent on it, which I understand. I will probably do that on my own every now and then. For the weapons, they're dire as well, and I am on my axe. I'm using the Superior Sigil of Life for a little bit of healing power, because right now I only have 358, and really that doesn't give me all that much survivability being that low. So I like to get the extra 250 at 25 stacks and bump me up to 600. So, for my secondary or my torch, I'm using the Sigil of Geomancy for bleeding on swap. It gives 3 stacks of bleeding on swap, and I'm also using that on my dagger, which is very helpful. Helps me get a little bit more bleeding out on my burst. For my sword, I'm using the Superior Sigil of Malice for a little bit of condition duration. So you can see I only have 6 right now, as I'm not running any food or anything of the sort. As far as accessories go, my wings really aren't what I want. I'm using settlers right now for my accessories, and then some ascendeds, which don't really have the exact stats that I'd like, but they'll do. So let's go ahead and hop over to traits. There we go. Okay, so right now I'm running a 0, 0, 30, 30, 10 build. That's just the base. You can swap it up however you want. I'll show you a couple ways that I like to change it around depending on the situation. Okay, so in Wilderness Survival, I have Vigorous Renewal, Oak Heart Salve, and Bark Skin. I really like the new update to Bark Skin for the damage reduction up to 50%. It's quite helpful when you get low on health, and just helps me stay up a little bit longer and be a little bit more annoying. I know the meta nowadays is a lot of conditions, so you can easily swap that out to Empathic Bond if that's what you want to do. I do every now and then. It's just, you know, conditions are so hard to get rid of as a ranger, and it's all passive condition removal based on if our pet is alive, which our pet is rarely alive as it is. So really we need more on-demand condition removal, which we only have in a few areas. So down to nature magic, I have Nature's Bounty, Evasive Purity, and Nature's Voice for regen and swiftness on shouts. And Beast Mastering, I have Shout Master to reduce the recharge on shouts. So in this one I'm running shouts with this build right now. I'm running Gaurd, which has a 12-second cooldown and gives 13 seconds of regen and swiftness. Now really it should add up to being, you know, infinite regen and swiftness, but really they'll have a second or two in between where you don't have regen or swiftness. So don't be upset when you run it and you run out of regen and swiftness every 13 seconds. So you could easily swap out shouts. Like, I don't really like shouts in combat because it's just, it takes up too much time to remember to cast your shout every 13 seconds, and it's just, you're losing out on DPS during cast. So I usually like to swap that out, and I'll pick up spirits instead. I'll pick up Sun Spirit and Stone Spirit, and then I'll swap out Shout Master, since I'm not using shouts anymore, to either, you know, speed training or commanding voice. It's really up to you. Sometimes I like to take the 10 points out of Beast Mastery and scoot them up to marksmanship and throw those into Keen Edge. for a little bit more damage on my burst. With Keen Edge, I've managed to get up to 25 stacks of bleeds on NPCs. Really, you won't get that on players with their condition removal and whatnot. It's just a lot harder to do on players. And then I'll swap out Nature's Voice because you don't really need it anymore since you're not using shouts, to either like Nature's Vengeance or even just like Nature's Protection, because I'm using spirits. So I'll swap out. You can keep Evasive Purity if you want, you know, it's all up to you. I'll throw in Spirits and Bound, have them follow me around, because I don't like just, you know, throw down a spirit that lasts for 60 seconds and you're always moving, so you're gonna go out of the range of them pretty quickly. And then instead of Nature's Bounty, I'll throw in, where are you, Vigorous Spirits, for the trigger chance up to 70% and the health increase, which is really nice. That's pretty much, you have to have that if you're running spirits. Okay, for my slot skills, I'm using Troll and Gwyn as my heal. That is the highest health per second heal skill that we have, although it doesn't have any condition removal, so you could easily swap that out to Healing Spring if you felt like it. It doesn't heal for as much, but it does have Condi removal, which is quite vital in some areas. I'll usually run Healing Spring if I'm running with a group, just because it's really helpful to them, pops them some regen, and clears Condis. There's been a lot of talk about Water Spirit lately, and really, Water Spirit is just underwhelming. It's, you know, it's based on a percentage, so really your heal is based off of RNG, and just not very good. Spirits have their own inherent problems as it is. They die really easy, AoE, so you wouldn't want to run Spirits in a Zerg or anything like that. So Water Spirit really, it doesn't heal as much as you would think it would. It heals less than Healing Spring on its own, so I really won't be running this. I tried it out and I really didn't like it. I'm using Lightning Reflexes for a little dodge and some Vigor, Signet of the Wild for some passive health regen, which you could swap out to Signet of Renewal if you wanted for some more condition removal, or even Signet of Stone for a little bit more toughness, which in turn gets converted to condition damage. That's usually what I'll run, and you know, I like using the sword and the dagger. It really gives you a lot of mobility and dodging in this build. So the sword itself has 2 dodges in Hornet Sting and Serpent Strike, and then you also get one from the dagger and Stalker's Strike. Then you get another one from Lightning Reflexes, and then 2 from your dodge bar, which hopefully by the time you use most of this stuff, it'll have regen. So really you'll be able to get off 6 dodges, if not 7 or 8 by the time you run out of endurance and cooldowns. For pets, I'm using Jaguar or even the Lynx. The Lynx does more bleed damage than the Jaguar, which is, you know, it's really up to you. If you want to go full on condition damage, you can do that. For the second pet, I'm using Wolf for fear and knockdown. It's really helpful, a lot of utility in that pet. I like to use them when I go down, just, you know, knock down whoever's trying to spike me, fear them away. By that time I'm most of the way rezzed and good to go. I don't think there's a whole lot else to go with this, so I hope you guys like the build. Feel free to try it out yourself. Go ahead and leave a comment in the comment section below if you have any advice for me or any questions. Thank you very much, and have a nice day.